Welcome back for another video. Unfortunately, Tom can't do his usual team selection video because of how the deadline's fallen today. However, he has sent me his team and his plans, so we'll go through the all-time #1 manager's team. By the way, he absolutely smashed it last game week, so we'll go through that. There's also another great opportunity to do a final thoughts and tips video. So first questions about rotation, and there were lots of questions. Will player X be bench? Will player Y be bench? Make no mistake, there's going to be a lot of rotation, and we're not in the clear next weekend either. It's probably going to affect us all to varying degrees, which is why the general advice in recent weeks in these videos was aim to have as many nailed talisman players in your team as possible. I wrote down some examples that came to mind that could be slightly risky this week, like Calafiori, Timber, Eze, Marino, Evan Nilsson, João Pedro, James, Fofana, Mateta, Richards, Gakpo, Isak, Barnes, Hall. Now, I wouldn't expect all of those Arsenal changes to be clear, like maybe one or two of those that I've named there. As long as you've got mostly nailed players, then you should be okay. Some of those obviously are really good assets that are worth the long-term hold as well, despite the risk this week, like Calafiori, Timber, Gakpo, Mateta, Richards, but others on that list, I think you can make a case for replacing this week if you have them. Question from Shawnee. I'm confused with 5 free transfers. Do we get them in Gameweek 16, as in after Gameweek 15, or is it after the Gameweek 16 deadline? It will be after the Gameweek 15 deadline passes, so next Saturday basically, when the game finishes updating, after the deadline, when you open your team, you'll see that you have 5 free transfers. So if your team feels like it's on life support, then don't worry, you'll be fine. Soon we'll all have 5 free transfers. Every single manager goes up to 5. And you either spend any free transfers you've got between now and then, or you lose them. Obviously, just be careful you don't make a transfer for the sake of it on something that could be worse. It's not the end of the world if you burn a transfer, and I think there will be some burned transfers. And once we get the 5 free transfers, you don't have to spend them all straight away. They're treated like normal free transfers. And in fact, if you can keep as many as possible banked, then that's good practice. You never know when you're going to need them. Smokey says, I'm losing 4 players this week and therefore I'm free hitting, which makes sense. And he asks, who are the top targets? I've put together a Focal's dream team, so basically my dream 11, or if I was free hitting this week, what would it look like? And the team I landed on is Raya, Timber, Munoz, Van Dijk, Lacroix, Saka, Bruno and Bumo, Semenyo, Haaland, Voltemada. Would you change anything if you were making a dream team for this week? Obviously I've got Timber in there, who I mentioned before, but I feel like I'd want to go double Arsenal defence and take the chance there. I've basically taken very little risk of rotation otherwise though. I think the only question mark, as I say, could be Timber. Maybe it's Calafiori that starts on the bench and Timber starts. Maybe neither, but yeah, I'm expecting some carnage, as I say, midweek, like Camvo probably in for Richards, that sort of thing. Maybe even Nketiah over Mateta, so I've left Mateta out as well, despite facing Burnley. If you watched the experts video, there were a few free hits active, and one of them very, very closely resembled this that we had in the video, except they went for Salah over Haaland, which I think is perfectly fine. It really boils down to your risk tolerance. If you're on a free hit and you want the biggest upside, then Salah is the answer, and captain him as well. Put the bench and last game week aside. Based on Slot's comments, I'd expect him back in the 11 for this one. More on Salah in a minute. Anderson first on the bench as well on this free hit draft, playing Wolves away, which is perfect depth. A quick look at the updated ticker next then. We've upgraded the ticker and we're no longer just using colours, we can do better than that. We've got projected goals and projected clean sheets, which is a much more granular view, and it gives us what we're actually looking for. So top in terms of clean sheets is Arsenal over the next 6 game weeks, followed by Man City, Liverpool and then Newcastle. Newcastle are a team that I'm definitely looking at a possible defender transfer for soon. There's a lot of appeal there and lots of options. Chelsea are 5th. Obviously Caicedo's 3-match suspension won't have helped their projections. They've dropped a little bit. I'm also expecting James bench in midweek as well. Anderson looks like a really tidy pick for 4.5 mil from Gameweek 15, where there's pretty good clean sheet chances and lots of DEFCON potential for him. Projected goals has got Liverpool top on the ticker, and then Man City, Arsenal and Newcastle. From Liverpool, really only Gakpo tempts me personally. I think Zoboslai could be okay, but I think there's better picks for that price. Foden is the one City attacker that I'd love to add as well soon. For Arsenal, in terms of the attack, I'm happy with Saka, and I think if anything it's going to be double defence for me. Voltemada and a Newcastle defender, as I say, both look great. Wissa, a big surprise, has pulled out of AFCON, so he's basically focusing on Newcastle, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, whether that affects Voltemada's minutes, but I still think Voltemada's a really solid option. And yeah, Chelsea up there as well. So I'd like to keep Enzo if possible, given their projections are still, what's that, in the top 5. And he's posting really good data as well. Likewise, Bruno down in 7th for projected goals will be a mainstay for me. Tom Dollimore's team then, and as I say, due to the Tuesday deadline, he's not able to do his usual recording, but he has sent his team for us and his plans as well. So what's the #1 all-time FPL manager doing this week? By the way, as I say, absolutely knocked out the park last week. I mean, was it ever in doubt? He scored 81 points, which took him from 470k to 77k, and now he's well on track for another stellar finish if he can keep chipping away from here. I mean, we're not even halfway into the season as well, so he's doing great. And his team is Raya, Timber, O'Reilly, Van Dijk, Stack, Semenyo, Bruno, Enzo, Cunha, Haaland and Mateta. So he's looking at O'Reilly in for the suspended Senesi. He can afford that for slightly more. He did miss the price rise, he says, but that's what he's looking at. The only other player he's considering is Lacroix, so it'll be one of those two. It's Bruno captain for Tom this week, and it's Haaland vice. And his bench is Dubravka, Anderson, Thiago and Rodon. Tom's going to be back on Friday morning for his Gameweek 15 team selection. Make sure you're subscribed. Gameweek projections next. So for Gameweek 14, Arsenal are top of the clean sheet odds with a 50% chance. And then Liverpool 44%, Palace 40%, Man United 38%. And then it's Man City, Newcastle and Chelsea. Liverpool lead on projected goals home to Sunderland, or joint top in fact. We've got Man United up there as well, which does again lend some weight to Bruno captaincy. Both Liverpool and Man United top on 2.4 projected goals. And then it's Arsenal 2.2, Newcastle and Man City 2.0. So not a huge gap in terms of comparing Bruno to Haaland in fairness. Man City basically 0.4 goals behind the top spot. Mega John asks, Salah, keep the faith with the all-time FPL great or sell and spread the investment? You're probably expecting me to say, yeah, get rid of him right now, spread the money, but I actually don't think this is the week. Slot said last match that he's been rotating all the attackers in recent weeks, so it's nothing out of the ordinary. And given that he was an unused substitute, I'd expect him to start this one. There isn't a clear better player to sell him for this week either in my opinion, so I would actually look to sell him after Sunderland and then spread the money around them. Obviously, make no mistake, it's been a hugely disappointing season for Salah in Liverpool so far, and he's absolutely not worth, I think he's 14.1 million, but in isolation this week, holding on to him looks perfectly fine. Following on from that then, captaincy rankings, short and sweet, we've got Bruno #1, Haaland #2, Salah #3. Since Bruno's playing home to West Ham and Haaland's got Fulham away, Bruno wins on fixture, and we saw the projected goals do favour Man United slightly. Haaland wins in terms of the number of game weeks he's returned in. 9 game weeks Haaland's returning, so he does win for consistency. 6 for Bruno, excluding Defcon. Salah in 3rd place, but if you've got him and you're looking for a big rank swing, then I'd back him to start this one, and I'd captain Salah if you're chasing upside. The captaincy widget on the app is really close. It's Bruno and Salah on 5 stars, and then Saka, Haaland and Mbeumo on 4 stars. Who are the most transferred players around the world then? It's surprisingly Thiago first, which doesn't really make sense unless you're able to bench him, or maybe if you're making multiple moves and it frees up money on a wildcard etc. But as a single free transfer, I really don't get that one. I wouldn't want to start him away to Arsenal anyway if you can help it. Foden's second, and then Timber, Munoz, Eze, Bruno, Chalobah, Rice and Minte. The most sold is Caicedo, who's going to be serving the first of his 3-match suspension this game week. We're not going to see him until game week 17 later this month. And then Senesi, who is definitely a sensible sell as well, given that he's got 1-match suspension, and then it's Chelsea when he returns. And then of course Sarr, who again is a priority sell. We might not see Sarr for quite a long time, could be the new year, because when he is back from injury, it's probably going to be once AFCON started. So yeah, as I say, probably January that we next see Sarr in all likelihood. And then Gabriel, João Pedro, Semenyo and Van der Ven. Last question, and then we'll look at my final team for Gameweek 14. A quick one from Erland, who says, do you think Cunha will play? So the problem with Man United is they play on Thursday. They're the only team that does this week. So their press conference is going to be tomorrow after the deadline. So we're not going to know for sure what Amrin thinks. However, Cunha posted on his Instagram saying he's back, so it's safe to assume he's definitely going to be involved. Therefore, I'd say he's don't sell, maybe don't buy territory. You'd expect him to probably return straight into starting 11, but it sounded like a really bad head injury, so I'd probably not risk buying him. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be selling him if I had him with that context. Finishing up with a look at my team for Gameweek 14 then. It's Raya, Munoz, Van Dijk, Anderson, Saka, Semenyo, Enzo, Bruno, Thiago, Haaland and Mateta. Only one free transfer, and I've got 3 hit 15 planned, which basically means I can spend a transfer this week to try and improve something, or I'll end up burning it. With nothing in the bag, there's very little wiggle room in terms of any transfers I can make, and most of my team I'm happy with. The issues are just Anderson and Thiago, my starting 11. Thiago, again, doesn't make sense to sell. So it does sound a bit crazy, but as I mentioned on the team selection video, I am still looking at selling Van den Berg, even though he literally just came into my team last gaming for that Burnley home game. So I'm thinking about replacing him with Van Hecke. I have looked at De Kuiper, who started in left wing out of position last match, but I can't trust him for starts, and Matoma I believe is back in training. The only other one I've looked at who I can afford for 4.5 mil is Savona, who's been playing right back for Forest, and Ola Aina is back soon, but he's expected to go to AFCON, so he's an option, but I don't know if he's better than Van Hecke, although he does have Wolves away this week, so it's close, but as it stands, Van Hecke's the plan. Brighton have got Aston Villa home, so basically there's a slightly better chance of a clean sheet than if I had to play Anderson home to City. I think there's potential for some low scoring games this midweek because of the busy schedule and tired players, and that could play in our favour in terms of clean sheets. I might even sell Van Hecke in Gameweek 16 because he does have Liverpool, and Arsenal have got Wolves that week, so perhaps I downgrade Semenyo and then upgrade him to Timber. We'll have European football midweek before Gameweek 16, plus the 5 free transfers, so we'll have lots of time to assess the lay of the land, and a ton of transfer paths that we could consider, and obviously lots of flexibility. I'd like to get back to double Arsenal defence, as I say, so I think it's Van Hecke in, as mad as that sounds. We're going to be live at 4:30 for a deadline stream, live all the way to the deadline from then, so I'll catch you all then.